I'm Molly Pesci, and this is Barnes & Noble Tagged. Sugar and spice and everything nice. That's what little girls are made of. Well, not in the web world of Jensylvania, where it's okay to be bitter, have a big butt, and a personal trainer named Barbie. It's all the wonderful creation of best-selling author Jen Lancaster. Jen Lancaster was an associate vice president for a technology company prior to being laid off. Not one to sit idly by, she began a blog that eventually became a book about her experience. Bitter is the New Black, Confessions of a Condescending, Egomaniacal, Self-Centered Smartass, or Why You Should Never Carry a Prada Bag to the Unemployment Office. The book was a success, and she followed with 3 more offerings with impossibly long subtitles. Next came Bright Lights, Big Ass. Her third book, the New York Times bestseller, Such a Pretty Fat, is her bitchy-ish but honest account of losing weight. Jen's address may say Chicago, but she truly lives in Jensylvania, where she interacts with fans online every day. We're going to ask her about her latest book, Pretty in Plaid, right now, because she's here with us in the studio. Jen Lancaster, you've been tagged. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
The book is great. I really enjoyed it, but I want to start first with Jensylvania.
Well, Jensylvania came about because apparently I was a slow adopter to the internet, and every iteration of the world of Jen was already taken. Genville, Gentown, Jen City State, all of it was taken. Then I came up with Jensylvania. Yeah. So everyone said, oh, you must be from Pennsylvania.
Yeah. No, I've never even been there. Right.
But I wanted something that encompassed the world of Jen.
Yeah, I like that it's the land of the free and the home of the bitter. Now, do you have to be bitter to be in Jensylvania?
It does help. I was an executive, I lost my job, and I couldn't understand how I went to not being able to get any job whatsoever. Even I wasn't qualified to walk dogs. How does that, and I had dogs my whole life.
Yeah.
So I started a website, I posted my frustrations, and people started to read it.
The genre is interesting because you're not going to really call this chick lit because it's so funny. What do you think of it? Do you think of it as chick lit?
See, I'm okay with it calling chick lit. I love chick lit. Chick lit is what I read. And if someone wants to think that I am a Bridget Jones in real life, I take that as a compliment.
Yeah. All right, I love the name because it's Pretty in Plaid, but then it goes on. It says, a life, a witch, and a wardrobe, or the wonder years before the condescending, egomaniacal, self-centered, smart-ass phase. I think that's the longest subtitle I've ever heard.
Well, long subtitles are sort of my thing. When I put together my first book proposal, my agent and I couldn't figure out what our subtitle would be, so we just put them all on the proposal as a joke. Penguin, my publisher, thought it was hilarious, kept them, and now that's sort of my thing. It makes my books kind of iconic that they have the subtitles. And my first book has all of those bits in the subtitle, so I wanted to bring this book and tie it into my first book.
What happens in the book?
The book is a look at my life from the 70s, 80s, and 90s because I read fans' letters. I listen to what they want. They wanted childhood stories. They wanted sorority stories. They wanted professional stories. And as I've looked back, the thing that tied them all together was what I was wearing. I recalled incidents by what I was wearing, so each chapter is set up with whatever was significant. Like the first thing is about my Girl Scout uniform, which started me on my road to hell when I forged my Girl Scout badges because I wanted it to be symmetrical.
All right, so what's next? What's the next book?
The next book comes out next year. It's called My Fair Lazy, and I am pulling an Eliza Doolittle on myself. I'm going through what I'm calling a cultural genaissance.
Genaissance, I love it.
It occurred to me I would be a better writer if apparently there are some historical figures who are evil, and I don't know who they are. So anytime I want to describe someone who's evil, it's either Mr. Burns or Blair Waldorf. So I'm trying to become culturally enriched so I can be a better writer.
Okay. All right. So that's what it's going to be. We'll say that again. The Jen.
It's about my cultural genaissance.
Genaissance.
It's called My Fair Lazy.
Jen Lancaster, thank you so much. The book is called Pretty in Plaid, and you know the rest. And everybody's got to grab a copy of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Here's a tagged close-up that will visually transport you back to a time when crochet was king. And surprise, it's making a comeback. It is once again hip to be handy with a crochet hook. Needlework dynamo and DIY host of Nitty Gritty, Vicki Howell is back with a high-spirited, playful collection of goodies to crochet. Vicki Howell's Pop Goes Crochet pays creative tribute to popular culture past and present with 40 projects inspired by celebrities in fashion, music, film, and television. Howell has whipped up a spectacular array of hip clothing, jewelry, and accessories, ranging from an intriguing Yoji asymmetrical sweater, in homage to designer Yoji Yamamoto, to a funky striped Cameron hoodie with the laid-back California style of actress Cameron Diaz. Everything's fashionable and as fun to make as it is to wear. And that's my tag close-up. Every week, we are tuned into the buzz of what is happening in the world of books, music, and movies. This week, my top tags are all about some of our favorite books that you are going to want to read before you see them on the big screen this summer. Cooking up a storm at number 5 is Julie and Julia by Julie Powell. It is her true story of trying to make her way through legendary chef Julia Child's classic cookbook, mastering the art of French cooking in 1 year's time out of her tiny apartment. Savor the book now. The movie comes out in August, starring Meryl Streep and Amy Adams. Magically appearing as my number 4 tag is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the 6th installment in the wildly popular series by J.K. Rowling. Read it now, or again, and again, before the movie opens in mid-July. Bulletproof at number 3 is Public Enemies by Brian Burrow. It's set in the 1930s booming crime wave while the feds are trying to take down American gangsters John Dillinger, Pretty Boy Floyd, and Babyface Nelson. Now, while you're reading it, try to imagine Johnny Depp as John Dillinger. It comes out in mid-July. It's a good thing to imagine. It's All in the Family at number 2 with My Sister's Keeper, Jodi Picoult's best-selling book about a girl who was conceived in vitro as a perfect match for her older sister who is battling leukemia. Now, she decides to sue her parents to stop them from using her as spare parts. Read this and weep, and it will help you know how many tissues you're going to need to bring to the theater when this movie comes out. It stars Cameron Diaz and Abigail Breslin. And my number 1 tag is Angels and Demons. Angels and Demons actually preceded Dan Brown's mega-hit novel, The Da Vinci Code. This time, symbologist Robert Langdon has uncovered a secret brotherhood intent on seeking revenge on the Vatican. Tom Hanks reprises his role as Langdon, whom he played in the movie version of The Da Vinci Code. Angels and Demons is out right now. And those are my top tags. Whoa. Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Why, I think we're in Pennsylvania, where everything is pretty in plaid, polo shirts and pearls. You know what? I think I'll stay here for a while, but I will be back next week, and I hope you will too, on Barnes & Noble Tag.